And we're ready to go. The music. Or as Julie would say, the musket.
The acoustic. I love acoustic.
Mm-hmm. A little boring after a while, but can be.
We, well, I should actually introduce us and then I should probably start talking out. Yes. Hello, I am Missy Wahlen with Wahlen Advisory Group of Raymond James, and I'm here with Chris Knight, my brother-in-law and business partner.
Hello.
Hello. And to let our listeners know and our YouTube audience know, we are recording for a radio show. And then the YouTube recording is like behind the scenes of our recording.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
So you can find us at wahlenadvisorygroup.com, WAHLEN advisorygroup.com, and phone number 262-207-3815. Did you have a hair?
Yes.
On your microphone?
Yes, that's. I wasn't going insane. If you see me moving my hand.
He's strumming along with the music.
No, not conducting.
Oh, yeah. So funny. How are
Did you give the website?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by the hair.
By the hair.
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's great.
Yeah. Here we are. Another recording, another show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, another week. I was telling Chris and Justin's our producer, that I try and change up my outfits now that people can actually see my outfits online. So I try not to wear the same thing on a Monday.
This is the boringness of being a man. It's a gray, black, or blue suit pretty much every day.
I even try to do a different hairstyle, but when you just wear it long, it's the same. But I noticed how many times I wore it up on Mondays, and I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't want to waste that much time on a Monday morning?
No.
Understandable.
Understandable, yes. How was your weekend?
It was great.
Yes.
Little date night with the wife. Kids went to Grandma and Grandpa's, so we got some free time finally.
When you say Grandma and Grandpa, your parents.
Correct.
Yes, well, your mom and
Not Nana and Papa.
Yes, your mom and stepdad.
Yeah.
Yep. And so all three go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then how often do you guys get a date night?
We're better at it now. For a while, there was just so much going on, especially during the holidays. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, I'd say once every 6 weeks.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a while, we had probably gone like 6 months and hadn't done it. We were both like, "Oh my god."
Need to get rid of your kids.
Yes, just
Love
for
you,
just for a
you
night.
need to go.
Yeah, just for a night. Oh, and it's great. Her and I like doing all the same things. We like the same food, and we like to cocktail, and it's great. We always have fun together.
Cool.
So,
do you have like a regular place in the workers know you?
Well, we used to go to Cooper's Hawk all the time. That was our favorite spot because we lived very near there. But I think we kind of got tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, they remodeled the bar, and it's not like as quaint as it used to be, kind of. So we used to know everybody that worked there. We would go in there anytime we had a date, and we get carryout from there. Mm-hmm. But now we're mixing it up.
Cool.
So that's why we spent an hour pre-partying a little bit and talking about which restaurant we would go to. So it was fun.
Cool.
And we like to go out to eat late too. So usually places are quiet and it's fun.
Yeah. And you guys sit at the bar.
Always. Yes. We're not table people when it's just the two of us.
How come?
We just like sitting at the bar, usually talking with the bartender a little bit.
Yeah.
Get your drinks faster that way as well.
That is
little
true.
side note there. Pro tip. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say less informal. I would say, I don't know, just kind of a different environment than just sitting across from somebody at a table and, gabbing back and forth.
Sure.
Just, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. That's what we do automatically.
Yeah.
Every time. It's fun.
Yeah, cool. And then you can just walk in and you don't need a reservation.
I hate making reservations.
Because then you have to plan and commit.
Yes. No, we don't do that. No, we're like, I don't know. We'll leave in like a half hour. We knew that they were taking the kids like 5 days in advance and finally figured out where we were going to go. The only thing that I was trying to do Saturday, I'm trying to get her into golf. So I wanted to take her to the driving range, but it was actually getting colder as the day went on Saturday. So we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I thought that would have been fun, but another time.
Another time.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you pick up the kids Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which we ended up hanging out at their house for 3 hours, picking them up and having fun and talking. So, yeah. So them taking the kids turns into like a 2-day thing because they came over to pick up the kids and we sat for 2 hours and talked. So that's just the way my whole family is. We gab.
I think that's
a lot of gab.
I think that's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of gabbing, a lot of talking, a lot of catching up.
Yeah, it's fun. So enough about me. How about you?
Oh, that's good. Now that it's brewer season, Mark is busy with his bar down in Blue Mound and shuttling to the games.
So when he's working on the weekends, what is he doing?
What is he not doing? As
A little bit of
bartender.
everything.
Yeah. He is running food. He is paying bills in the office.
Making cocktails.
He is, I call it shaking babies and kissing hands. I know it's not right to say, but he is managing employees,
Sure.
checking people's attitudes and resetting that so then they're not so rude to customers.
Does he, by the time, so he worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday, by the time Sunday comes around, does he seem a little kind of exhausted?
Yeah, but that's also too because sometimes there's drinking involved.
Sure.
So a little bit of cocktail.
Sometimes with Mark, sometimes.
And so it's kind of self-inflicted.
Sure.
So I don't really feel that
Noted.
bad. But then when there aren't Brewers games, he's just not as busy.
Sure.
So I mean, Magoo's is still thriving and doing well, but he just doesn't have as many responsibilities.
Yeah.
So he does get breaks.
Yeah.
Because of it. So yeah, and then when he works, then it's great because then I get
The house all to yourself.
myself. Oh, I love
aside from contractors.
I love my alone time. And we are in the middle of a major home renovation, and our mason and I think it's his girlfriend, if not they're really good friends, and she helps him out a lot. They're just really good people and really nice to talk to.
That's nice.
Bring really nice energy into the house.
So they were there Saturday.
Yeah, they were there Saturday and Sunday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, almost done. They got the kitchen side of the fireplace done now. About a quarter to maybe a third of the way done with the living room side.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You'll be out of the dusty basement soon. Maybe another 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh, you should see my shoes. They are really
Oh my God, I
dusty.
can't.
Yes, it is really gross, and I'm like, I could be in my office wiping them.
You're gonna have to get like everything dry cleaned when this is all done and get everything cleaned out.
I already told my husband when it's time, go stay at a hotel or at a friend's house, and I am gonna take the weekend by myself and clean
everything.
Yes, because I'm a clean freak, and nobody cleans as good as I do. So, especially my husband. So, and he'll say, I clean better than you. I just don't do it the way that you like it.
I think every couple has that fight.
I think so too. So, yeah, I will definitely I was actually thinking about calling Mary and Kathleen, my two younger sisters.
They would love to come over and
have a sister time and just, here's a vacuum, here's a mop, here's a bucket.
Go to it.
Yep, and have at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
you could, the girls like to clean, you could bring them over too. That would probably be super helpful.
Then it would ruin your guy time. Yes. So we'll see, but the house, I'm hoping that it's all done. We passed the inspection. So now it's drywall will be put up this week.
Oh, nice.
Then next week, hopefully starts the flooring.
Great.
And once that's in, then I think it's just really going to be boom,
fly.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So I'm still hoping by the end of May.
Yeah. They're on schedule relatively. That's good.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's kind of hard to know like what the schedule is in a renovation and what's going on. But
well, everybody's at the mercy of everybody else. That's
yes. Mm-hmm.
Somebody's always waiting on somebody.
Yes, and I'm totally new to this, and so does a contractor place the order, or do I need to place the order for plumbing, for flooring, whatever it is? Yes, or the contractor told us that we could go there and give the name, and then we would get contractors' prices. But then, do we place the order, or is he supposed to? So there's a lot of back and forth with that stuff. Yeah. Too, and just making sure that everything is ordered is the biggest thing, and delivered and installed.
I know. I did this stuff for 15 years.
Yes, you know the pain.
And in our own homes with kids. Yeah. Four houses we did that. Yeah.
4 houses. Are you done?
We're gonna take a short break and then go back at it.
What's your definition of a short break versus Kathleen's definition of a short break?
Oh, I don't know what she would think about it. My definition of a short break would be 2 years without doing that. Yeah. And then get back at it.
Do you ever miss just like having a home?
Yeah, not really. Because I still but it still very much feels like a home. I don't mind kind of moving about. It doesn't really bother me at all.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I mean, we moved 4 times.
Okay.
So, and I mean, we're always moving. Every time we move to a nicer home or a nicer area or something. So it's not like, you're always upgrading something.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate moving. I hate starting fresh. I hate starting new.
Even though that's why I need a little break. I'm a little worn out with the career change. But I like the project stuff and I like all the planning. And I do enjoy painting and picking stuff out. I mean, I do all that kind of on my own for the most part.
You're handy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really nice to have somebody around the house to be able to do that.
Especially now where we're just in an office setting, it's kind of like the touching grass thing. It's nice to use your hands and kind of centers your brain a little bit, I think.
Touching grass.
Mm-hmm. You never heard that?
No. Well, I'm terrible with
life can get so kind of comfortable, and you get so in a routine, and you spend so much time in an office with the same people, you kind of lose perspective a little bit on things.
Oh yeah.
That's where I say like the working with your hands thing comes in, and then also just kind of recenters you. That's why they say go outside and touch grass. Remember that the world's out there.
It's grounding.
Yeah.
And
that's what I like about golf too.
So ironic that you bring this up, because I learned so much about grounding and energies this past weekend.
How so?
So we thinking of the theory that everything has an energy source, and everything carries a specific energy to them. Us as humans, we each have different energies to us, and the importance of grounding is rebalancing and recentering your own energy.
Sure.
And then recognizing if you are absorbing other people's energies or other just any other energy sources, and you've internalized it, and so then grounding helps you release those energies, so then you can get back to feeling yourself.
That's a very collegiate and fancy way of saying touch grass.
Well, and then I was like, this is such a cool concept. And so just doing more research.
Wait, how did this come about though this weekend? Were you looking this up, or what? What's the context?
I'm reading a book about angels.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so then I started doing research on energies. And I mean, we learned back in middle school that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred or transformed. And so thinking about that, and everybody carrying an energy, Earth has an energy, all of us have an energy, then if it cannot be created or destroyed, but just transferred, then that means then that there's, I've been trying to piece it together, everything that happens circularly.
Okay.
And then there's different balances. It doesn't mean it's a teeter-totter where it's equally weighted. There's like a balance and a harmony.
What did you call it?
A teeter-totter.
You say totter. Teeter-totter.
So this is part of the words and phrases that I always butcher.
Kathleen does this too. I'm so used to it. That's why.
I think it's a total family thing.
I'll correct her like 3 times a day on stuff. I'm like, and she goes, so, but whatever.
Yes, and I say nip it in the butt, and Mark's like, nip it in the butt.
Bud.
Yes, he's like, it's nip it in the bud, and I'm like, since when?
And don't say that at your daughter's school, for God's sakes.
Or quit lollygagging, and he's like, lollygag.
Yes.
It's lollydag.
Mark and I are both old souls. That's why we're bothered. I know all these old expressions.
Like, who says lollygag? It doesn't make any sense. But no, so for a teeter-totter.
Good job.
Teeter-totter.
Totter. You're doing a very Wisconsin thing. Totter. Teeter-totter. Like tots. Tater tots.
Totter.
We're in the weeds here.
The energy doesn't necessarily have to be balanced.
Sure.
But then there is a certain balance with a harmony associated with it. And so thinking more of like angels and positive energy and good energy, then it is being able to transform negative energy into good energy. And negative energy is very contagious and is more contagious than positive energy. But positive energy is stronger and can transform negative energy.
Sure.
And it has a more lasting effect.
Mhm.
and positive transforms negative.
Sure,
And
that makes
as
sense.
with negative energy, the quantity that it converts positive energy into negative energy, that quantity is there, but it doesn't have as long of a lasting effect as positive overcoming negative. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I thought it was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had very awakening moments and enlightening moments over the weekend when I was home alone because my husband was working and then
He wasn't there to distract you.
Yes. Oh gosh. And then the other thing I learned too is the biggest difference between praying and meditating, and is praying is when you are actually talking,
Mm-hmm.
and you can obviously pray to God, you can pray to angels, you can pray to other people's angels. So that's when you are talking, and whether it's just about your day, asking for a specific request, or whatever it may be. Meditating though is where you are sitting there and you are listening, and you're
Internalizing.
not necessarily internalizing, but visualizing, listening, and paying attention to what God is trying to tell you. And I did. So whether it be God, angels, Jesus.
Do you meditate?
I do. I just started. It's pretty impactful.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long?
It's very grounding.
There you go. How long do you meditate for?
I did it for about an hour.
Really?
On both Fridays.
Sitting like in one spot, eyes closed.
Eyes closed.
You don't move at all.
Don't move at all, and you just sit there.
Were you sitting there like this? I have my fingers up in the air.
No, I liked having a blanket over me.
Okay. Oh, like over your head?
No.
I was like, what was going on in there?
I want to be a ghost talking with the other spirits. No, I like having a blanket over me because I get cold really easily, and my body temperature shifts very, very easily when I meditate too. I notice, and it's new for me, so I'm just trying to figure it out.
Well, good for you. That's great.
Yeah.
Good to try new things.
Yeah. And then what was really cool then was I did Eucharistic ministry at Mass yesterday. So, and the church I go to, there's the priest handing out there's usually two priests handing out Eucharist, and they have a kneeler in front of them, and people will kneel to get communion.
Mm-hmm.
And the second priest wasn't there at this Mass, so I'm actually right next to the priest and giving out communion, and I'm just praying for everybody and allowing Jesus to be present as they're receiving the Eucharist and receiving his body. So it was like so serendipitous that I was learning more about meditating and praying and energies, feeling the energies, and then trying to spread God's and Jesus's love and energy.
Oh, that's great.
And, yeah, it was
lovely.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Brand new for me, so we'll see.
It's good to be
we'll see how this progresses.
Good to be on a journey.
And angels, learning more about angels. They all have different personalities and also have free will and are there to really serve God and serve God's mission of faith and helping humans just receive faith that God does exist and relying more on God and trusting God has a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. So it was very awakening.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great weekend.
It was. And then we had our last dance recital for the season. So.
But that starts up again pretty soon, doesn't it?
Yeah, starts up next month. Well,
yeah.
Tryouts are next month already, so about a month away. And and then right back at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this time of year, it's regardless of the sport, whether it's dance, volleyball, basketball, it's always exciting for a new season, but also there's a lot of uncertainty of how many people are going to be trying out, what ages people are trying out, because ages is a huge factor in sports. And
sure.
So then what kinds of teams are they able to create? Are they able to create a more competitive team, a team that focuses more on it just being more fun, or what kinds of competitions or what kinds of tournaments are they all going to be in? So it's fun because it's a new season, but yet nerve-wracking because how is it going to work?
Is Blue still as excited about doing it as she has been in the past?
She loves dance, and I think what she's just in this phase, I think of, and as I still continue to work on, which is nothing's going to be perfect.
Sure. Well, that's life.
Exactly. Yes. Nothing's going to be perfect. No job is going to be perfect. No career is going to be perfect.
Our jobs are perfect.
Our jobs are fun. Yes, for sure. And so she's just learning that there's going to be no perfect studio and no perfect coach, no perfect team. And because there isn't, it's not going to be perfect.
She still gets the same level of pleasure out of it, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
She's not waning as she gets a little older.
No, she's still very passionate.
Okay.
About it, for sure.
Good for her.
I think this is a great life lesson. Then I remind Blue and Ella's my stepdaughter, that happiness doesn't come from external things.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't come from material things. It doesn't come from sports. It doesn't come from being able to be scrolling on your phone. It doesn't come from screen time. It doesn't come from food or anything. It comes from your love for yourself, your love for God, and understanding that God's love for you.
And family.
I don't agree with that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Your happiness, because then you're using other people to make you happy.
Or you're using each other to be happy.
So I believe your true source, though, you will always have you in your lifetime. You are the constant in your own life. So if you don't have that understanding that God loves you, and if you don't love God in return, and you don't love yourself too, then it's going to be really hard for you to be happy with family.
Interesting. I disagree with you, but that's okay.
And it's going to be It's going to be really difficult it's because then you're relying on external things to make you happy, as opposed to you being confident and happy and loving God and allowing God to love you, and then you being the best version of yourself for your family.
I think maybe we're saying the same thing. You can have the first one, but I think that family adds to it would maybe be a better way of saying it.
Oh, of course. Yes, family adds to it, but that's not the core, the root of your happiness. Yes.
We found a middle ground there, relatively.
We always do. Yes.
Indeed. Now, we have been talking about this stuff for a very long time. If you look at our little trusty clock on the wall, we have to give out contact information, and we have some reading.
Well, real quick to recap that. So Blue is learning because Blue has used dance as happiness. Even she's been passionate about it. It's been really healthy for her.
Got it.
But then she's been using it as happiness. And so this is kind of the reset button to be like, okay, it's not going to be perfect. So then what does make you happy, number one? And then how do we make the best of your passion?
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So fun conversations that we have. Okay. Yes. We are Missy Wahlen and Chris Knight with Wahlen Advisory Group of Raymond James. That's wahlenadvisorygroup.com. WAHLEN advisorygroup.com. 262-207-3815.
And Wahlen Advisory Group on YouTube.
Wahlen Advisory Group on YouTube. Yep. All right. So here we are, still in the midst of the Iranian conflict, and ceasefire has taken place. In the first week of the ceasefire, not much progress from there. Peace talks have not been as successful as hoped, and the Strait of Hormuz is still under negotiations. Iran's still wanting nuclear weapon program in place. Has not made the U.S. very happy at all. So still threats of, if we can't come to an agreement, U.S. is going to start strikes on Iran again. Maybe we'll break the ceasefire deal, maybe not.
And I think blockading the Strait of Hormuz they were talking about today as well.
Yep. So still a lot of uncertainty, but at least the ceasefire is still in effect.
Yeah, and the market responded positively.
Yeah, so the market is almost fully recovered. It was almost fully recovered last week. Didn't see much momentum after as the week progressed, and still starting off today with it being almost there, but still not quite yet. So I thought what would be really interesting to share is how quickly then markets recover after a 5% correction, or 5% pullback, and then, or 5% dip, and then a 10% correction, and corrections can also be called pullbacks as well. So the number of months it takes to recover after a 5 to 10% decline which is what we experienced. We experienced about a 9% drop in the S&P, almost 10, so almost correction territory there. And it takes, on average, about 2 months
Interesting.
to recover, which is, we're right there.
Mhm.
We're really close to being fully recovered. So, I do think that we're still in par for that. If we experience a 10 to 20% drop in the market, which was last year with the tariffs in place, it takes about 5 months to recover. We recovered within a few months last year.
Mm.
So, and then when the market drops 20% or more, which is considered a bear market, guess how long it takes? How many months?
Well, I cheated. I already saw the number.
Yeah, 53 months. But that's because of 2008. It took
Yes,
a while.
yeah.
It took about 2008.
And we had
But
essentially stagflation after that.
2020's bear market, and then 2022's bear market, we recovered fairly quickly. 2020, we recovered within a few months of that. But then 2022's, it took about 13 months.
What was the percentage of decline in 22?
It dropped 34%.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. And it had bottomed out in May, and then it had fully recovered by August of 2020.
Interesting.
And then 2022, it had bottomed out in June at minus 25%. Ended the year in December at minus 18, so it recovered a little bit from June to December. And then it was just about 2 percentage points away from being fully recovered come the end of 2024. So then January and into February, it fully recovered and started reaching new record-breaking highs. But then Trump had announced the tariffs, and that caused another 19% drop, and we had bottomed out by May, but then had a 14 to 15% recover, 14 to 15% return in the S&P by the end of last year. So, and then we kept reaching new record-breaking highs come February, and then poof, dropped. Yep.
Never a dull moment.
There's always something in our markets and in our economy. So, so we're acting within normal averages.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Normal behaviors.
People like to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Always.
Fun show. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.